Hello and welcome to the English department at Ponderosa High School. These are the teachers who would normally teach freshman English: Mrs. Shintaku, Mrs. Freer, Mr. Beatty, and I'm Mrs. Fletcher, and I'll be taking you on your tour of your class options today. Freshmen have two choices in the English department: English 1 or Advanced English 1. Both courses are considered college prep, and both satisfy the freshman English requirement for four-year colleges. There are some differences between the two classes, and so we'll take a little time to look at those. In English 1, there would usually be 30 to 35 students per class. Students desire a challenging and moderately paced class. For Advanced English 1, there are usually 35 to 38 students per class. Students desire a rigorous and fast-paced class, read above their grade level, and have consistently earned an A or B in language arts classes. For reading and comprehension, in English 1, many pages are read aloud, discussed, and analyzed in class with the teacher. The teacher guides analysis and offers support for accurate comprehension. The opposite is in Advanced English 1, students are expected to read, comprehend, and analyze literature independently, with most of that reading taking place outside of class. An essential component of the class is student involvement in analysis, discussion, and higher-level thinking regarding literature when they come back to class and they have already completed the reading. Writing support is available for every student, whether that happens individually with the teacher or as a whole class. The difference is, in English 1, review and support is given as long as necessary for students to understand the components and organization of various writing assignments. There are more supports given throughout the year, like outlines, graphic organizers, more direct feedback on rough drafts, and so on. In Advanced English 1, initial instruction is given to transition to the expectations of high school level writing. But after a little bit of support in the beginning, then students should be able to write independently and fluently with little support. Ideally, students should be able to read a prompt, follow directions, outline a piece of writing, edit, and write a final draft that contains few grammatical errors. In terms of expectations and homework, in English 1, most independent reading is done in class. This would be books of the student's choosing. Reports or projects prove completion. Students write more in class, sections of narratives, essays, and poetry, although some of that might also be done at home. As we said, more structure and support is given during the writing process. Students are also given support to manage their time, organize their materials, and determine best studying practices. In Advanced English 1, students read and comprehend approximately 100 pages of required student literature per week, so about 2,000 pages per school year. Students complete writing assignments independently at home approximately once per week, and they should be able to write fluently and edit independently. Advanced English 1 is a fast-paced class, and so excellent time management, organizational, and study skills are expected of students in this class. In terms of literature, what we actually read, some things are the same between the two classes. For example, required texts in our school are short stories, Greek mythology, the Odyssey, Of Mice and Men, and Romeo and Juliet. Then on the bottom left, you'll see that there are additional possibilities that are up to the teacher's discretion, so a teacher could add in any of those books. The difference is Advanced English 1 students would also read at least one of these titles: Les Miserables, Dracula, or Great Expectations. Students and parents have sometimes asked for samples of the reading and writing that are done in Advanced English 1. This is available through hard copy in your counseling office. The top here is just what we've already discussed, the differences between the two classes. But here on the bottom, we have a text example from one of our most difficult pieces of literature. So this is something that an Advanced English 1 student should hopefully be able to read and comprehend. Of course, there is support given in class. And then on the very bottom here, we have a writing sample from an Advanced English 1 student. Just an example of how students might write and their capability in terms of writing when they come into the class and with a little direction after some time has passed. So to recap, the biggest differences between the two classes are reading comprehension and support, the pace at which the classes move, literature and choice of texts, and writing support. If a student is still unsure, these are some questions you might consider. Are you willing to read 10 to 15 pages per day in books you may or may not like? This includes weekends and holidays. Do you prefer to read on your own, or would you rather read with a teacher? Do you want or need extra help with your writing? And what does the rest of your course load look like? Sometimes if students are taking a very rigorous course load in areas like math and science or modern language, they have to balance. And so that is sometimes a determining factor as to whether they choose to take English 1 or Advanced English 1. Of course, you can still talk to your 8th grade counselor. You can reach out to a Ponderosa counselor or your current English teacher if you need further guidance. We look forward to meeting you next year. Thank you.